Do you want to expand your Amazon FBA business, but you are not sure which marketplace you should go first and how to measure its potential? In this video, we will show you how to forecast your product success in a new market using the Amazon Marketplace Opportunity Report.
Hi, Anna. I'm really happy to have you here on OrangeClick channel today. And today you will explain us a little bit how sellers are able to evaluate if their product would be a good match to a new Amazon Marketplace. So before we do that, could you first introduce yourself and let us know what you do in the Amazon space?
Absolutely. My name is Jana. I'm the founder and CEO of Wildly Translations. We are an Amazon dedicated localization and translations agency, and we've been around for the last 4 years, and we've been working with a bunch of different sellers, from 7-figure sellers, 6-7-figure sellers, to bigger brands such as Nestle and like big enterprises, National Geographics, and so on. So we have a really interesting data to share. We've done a lot of products. We do a couple of thousands of products every month. So we're happy to share and to see what is trending, what's not trending, what are others doing, not only small sellers, but also very big brands, as they quite have like similar strategies in common when it comes to expanding and scaling their business.
All right, and today you will give us a couple of tips how Amazon sellers could evaluate the market themselves, but actually you also launch a new product regarding the similar topic. So before we go into it, maybe just quickly, what's the product you are offering to the sellers now? We will later talk about it more, but just to give us a little hint.
Yes, so I'm very excited to be able to finally present something that we've been working on for a while. What is called a new service? It's called AMOR, and it stands for Amazon Marketplace Opportunity Report, or spreading the AMOR across international marketplaces for Amazon sellers. This is the first service the first new service that we've launched in the last 4 years. So I just thought it was a good idea to come back to OrangeClick and promote it, as OrangeClick and Augustus were the first people to promote us in the Amazon space and launch us into this industry, which I'm very grateful for. So I thought it was a great idea to also like go back to roots and just promote this new service as well here. This report should be something really unique. We have a lot of experience, as I said, with people that want to expand internationally. And I always got the same question, which was, Jana, where should I expand next? Like, we've done this, what should I do next? And then every time I would go like, well, it's $1 million question. I wish I knew that. And then after a while, I was like, well, what if I can tell them where to expand next based on some data and some strategies and something that we've seen that happens in the last 4 years? And this is how AMOR was born. So hopefully the numbers and data that we share would be a good guideline for them.
All right, sounds really good and useful for the seller. So I know you prepared some slides for us as well to walk us through everything. So yeah, go ahead, share your screen, and we're eager to learn from you.
So I wanted to talk today a little bit about how you can do due diligence on your own. So you don't have to hire anyone, you don't have to outsource it. This is something that actually your team or yourself can do. And this is, something that is very much overseen and people don't take this into consideration. This can cost you a lot of money at the end, and your time and a bunch of other things. So to begin with, like how you can actually explore new opportunities and potential new marketplaces is basically just by going to brand analytics and checking the global demand for your product. If your product is high demand, medium demand, low demand, this will be the first sign that you should whether pursue it, try to sell it on the new marketplace or not. So just basically going to brand analytics can tell you a lot of things. Second thing, what you can do, for instance, we like to use Helium 10 for this. Like we go to Blackbox and then we do like, overview and sales, see how your product is doing on these new marketplaces. For this, you just need to use keywords in the target language of your product and make sure that is 100% identical with the product you're selling on your home marketplace. And then you just get an overview of sales and how much money this product is is getting. What is very, very important for you to do is to compare the revenue that you and your competitors are making on your home marketplace, let's say US marketplace or UK or Germany, because this is where mostly people start on, and then compare it to the revenue that they're making on this new marketplace you want to expand to. So if this new marketplace has potential in terms of like, this is great revenue and they're making 10% more than the competitors are making on your home market, then this is a green light for you, and it's a good signal for you to also try it out. Second thing is, of course, to go and look for your competitors. This is an example from DataDive. We love using DataDive, and they have like bunch of very, very good data. All the relevant things that matter for your brand can be found here as well. So what you can do is like, you can pick your competitors and check also in this like little stats here, how well their sales are doing, what is the peak season, you know, just to help you draw a little bit the strategy that you want to use before expanding there. Of course, you can here see what are the frequently bought together products, and then you can see different ideas that you can get. Again, this can definitely help with your strategy, like to check if your competitors are doing great and if they're doing not. I think that if you have competitors, and if you have anywhere from like 5 to, I don't know, X amount of competitors, it's good. It's good to have competitors, because it means that there is money in this product and there is potential in it. If you don't have any competitors, I would definitely think about it a little bit and be like, why don't I have any competitors? And then I will check the sales. I would check you know, the search volumes, search for frequency terms, like all of that. I will just double check on that. And then what's also very important when you analyze your competitors is to see how well their content is, because organic rankings matter. PPC matters, of course. You need to have like really good keywords in the target language done from scratch. For new keyword research has to be done for each marketplace separately, not just translated. This really reflects on the ranking of your products, like the quality of the keywords and the quality of your content. Usually what happens with sellers and with bigger brands is that they launch their products, and then 6 months later, they see drop in sales. And 6 months later, they usually come to us around that time after they've seen drops in sales, and they don't understand why this is happening, because they've done a great job with images, infographics, PPC campaigns, everything is doing well, but they don't understand what's going on. And usually if you see the drop in sales after 6 months, it's usually because of the content that is confusing, content that lacks keywords. Basically, it's mostly because it doesn't connect with the audience. A lot of times wrong keywords are also used. I always mention that we had a seller selling diapers in the US as for kids diapers. She just copy pasted this into UK English, selling it on the UK marketplace, and she was ranked for a completely wrong product, because the word diapers in the UK, it's used for adult diapers, not for kids diapers. They use the word nappies. So you had to change the keywords as well. So never copy paste, always double check. And just imagine how different it is when you compare different languages, not like only English, which is basically, you know, English speaking countries are multiple in the world, but they even have differences, and let alone other languages. Now, for instance, if we take this example of this product, which is a patch that you can patch on your clothes and, or, kind of upgrade it, or you can have like different patches, different patterns. This is a good product for the German marketplace. It had about 10 competitors. And then if you compare how well the competitors are doing on the content game, meaning the language, the keywords, everything, the one in red is doing a great job. The orange one is somewhat doing a good job, and the green ones and the rest of them were all greens are not doing a great job. Now, if you see it like this, that means that basically you can potentially be in top 3 competitors when it comes to content. I'm not talking about other aspects of your listing. I'm talking about content, and you can beat your competitors on the content game using localization, using keywords. So this is not going to be too difficult for you. What is difficult is, for instance, if you want to get into best-selling niches such as supplements and the beauty products and so on, or even if you want to sell wet brush, it's like probably one of the top 5 selling products on the German marketplace, that Wetbrush has a lot of competitors, and from 15 of them, I think 9 or 10 have an amazing content. So in that case, you have to be aware that this is going to be a very, very, very difficult journey for you. Not that it's not gonna, do well, because it does have big sales volumes and it does earn a lot of revenue, but on the content game, it's gonna be not that great. And if we were to do it as in our report, our opportunity score will probably be like 5 out of 10, like when it comes to the content and how well you could do it and beat your competitors. So that is also like very important. What is also very important is to check the search volumes. And a lot of people ask me, so what do you consider a good search volume? Or like, what is it like, oh, this product is selling well, I should go there. It really depends on the product, because you cannot compare supplement niche to a very, very, very specific niche that is not that popular. So if you get search volume for a very, very down narrow niche, that it's going to be 200 or 300 search volume per month, it means that not a lot of people are looking for this product, and it means that it's just not going to be something that will bring you ROI, because you still need to pay for your taxes, a bunch of things. There's like a lot of work and a lot of money invested into your expansion, and you want to see ROI in the first couple of months, and you would not be seeing that because the search volume is not too big, which means that people really do not buy that amount of product. So this is also very important to look beforehand, the search volume and the keywords that are very relevant for your product. A lot of times people use too broad of a keyword, and they say like, oh, okay, this is doing well. Like, if you're selling nunchuckies and you just type sports equipment is going to have 10,000 search volume, but how big of a search volume is going to be for your nunchucky that you're selling? Because you definitely want to use the keywords that will lead the consumer directly to your product. How many people have nunchucky on their minds when they're typing sports accessories? I wouldn't say that all of them were thinking of buying nunchucky, at that very specific point. So that is also very, very important. And the final thing, which is also something we focus on the report, is what the audience says. So we partner with Pixful on it. They build international audiences for us, and this is very important. And I've come to this realization because there was one of the sellers that had this problem, was that the product, it was fantastically put together, everything was great, content was also good, the keywords, absolutely everything, they were like flawless. And then, but the product was not doing great. And it was a t-shirt with Mr. and Mrs. smiley faces on it. And then the seller just didn't know what was going on, what was the problem. So I just went to my German team, and out of 14 of my team members, everyone hated the product. They just said, we don't like it. It's terrible, and it's not German aesthetics, and we would never buy that, which actually reflected the sales. So the audience hated it. This is something which is very often, like overseen, and people never think about that. They just think like, well, if it's a bestseller, everybody's gonna love that, Just take Japan, for instance. It's a whole new planet over there. And specific products work in Japan that probably would not work well in the rest of the world, but countries separately work differently. It's different mindset, different products are successful. And that's why I think it's a really good and important strategy also to ask your audience. You can go to Facebook groups, you can talk to expats, ask them like, hey, would you buy this product? Or you can just ask them and maximize on the number of the people you can reach by asking them, would you or somebody that buy this product? Because they can say like, well, I'm not into sports, but my friends are totally crazy about martial arts, and then they will buy the nunchuckies you're selling. So it's really important to reach out and to try and see that. And then we give like an overview of, typical answers, if people like it or not. You don't need like 5,000 votes for this. Anywhere from like 100 to 500, depending on the niche. Sometimes you will not be able to get that much because it's, as I said, it's a very, very niche down product. So it's going to be a very specific audience that you will be talking to. So it's all kind of mix and match, but the important thing is that the audience is the one that is also in charge if your product is going to be bestseller or not. Yeah, talking about localization, I wanted just to mention that now it's more important than ever to do localization the right way also in your main images, which is now possible. And we've seen a lot of sellers come back and say, hey, can you do main images as well? Because it's something that the consumers first see. They always check your images, and then it's that they read the text. And then whenever there was like a poll asking what's more important, images or keywords or PPC, whatever, everybody says images #1, and then keywords. It's like top of the most important things that you should take into consideration when expanding. And that also affects your images, which now can be localized and put into the target language, not only in English, as a lot of people, let's say in Europe, Japan, Mexico, global marketplaces, they're not that great in English, and they will probably not buy what they don't understand, especially when it comes to supplements, baby products, everything that has ingredients in it. You want to make sure that you 100% understand what you're buying and how to use it. So this is a quick step guide how to change your local, how to change the images to be local images so that people actually think they're buying from their local brand and not from this brand that's coming overseas. So now talking about our Amor report. This is our front page with all more people that are going to spread the love of selling internationally, which also Amazon wants you to do. This is basically how the report looks like. So now we first go and we go over the sales, which is, as I said, like the Helium 10 a black box. You can use like a bunch of other things, but this is what we use. And then at the end, you're going to have like an overview of all of the sales in your competitors, how well they're doing on their home marketplace, how well they're doing on their new marketplace. So it's all about the comparison. We have like a bunch of comparison charts that will give you a lot of data and numbers, how well people are doing here versus how well they're doing somewhere where you want to expand as well. Here is like the overview of your competitors, top 4 or 5 competitors, how well they're doing. And then after every segment, we write our little summary on like what we've noticed, what's interesting, what may be something, an opportunity for you, what is something that they're not doing and you could be doing. So it really depends on the product. Sometimes we have like 3 pages on the summary because it's a really, really good niche. Other times there's like not that much competitors, not that much data, but there's still good conclusion to be drawn out of it. And then of course, do you have, for instance, like this is something that we often seen there, this is your product listing. And then you have the competitor that is advertising their product on your product listing. We've seen this in 95% of the sellers that sell internationally. They don't pay attention to this. So this, where it says save 10%, this is exactly where you should be putting your own product and targeting this product with one of your own products instead of the competitor showing up on your page and taking your potential sales. Like this is something that could be applied to almost, a lot of all brands out there. And then we focus on the keyword and the content. We analyze what are the good keywords, how potentially are you to be one of the top sellers when it comes to content. We do a bunch of like analysis of the listing that is, okay, like the title is like what you should put in the title to make it better. This is what you should use in the bullet so you can get ranked higher and so on. And then of course, like it's going to be like the whole full study of like what you should do, what strategy you should use based on how we approach the brands when we redo their listings. You're gonna get a bunch of sheets with keywords, master keyword lists. They're gonna have the Cerebro, the relevancy, the main competitor keywords, basically everything that you need to do in order to get the best content possible. And then for the end, we have the poll with the audience, buy your product or not. We take a snippet of like 10, 20 answers that people take in the poll. So you can just kind of get an overview. But then after that, we get like a really nice chart. And then we tell you like, okay, this is the age range, or you can tell us the age range and we can, apply it only to that age range, gender identity. And then of course, as I said, we always compare everything to your home marketplace versus to the new one. Would the consumers buy it in the US? This is like yes or no. And then would the consumers buy it in Germany? It's like yes or no, like differently, or maybe it will be worse than that. And then at the end, we write a really big summary which says like, okay, so the audience says this. This is a strategy you can use for your keywords. This is for the sales. This is for the competitors. The consumers will buy this. They will not buy it. So this is like a better overview, and we give you a better feel of the pulse of the market, so you can decide if you want to pursue this or not. And then at the end, you can get also an opportunity score, which is 3 out of 5 or like 5 out of 10, depending on how many factors we take into consideration. So you can easily understand if this is a good fit or not. If it's like 2 out of 10 or 1 out of 5, then definitely this is not worth getting into and not worth spending your money, which can save a lot for you. But giving this data, and this report goes anywhere from like 10 pages to 30 pages, depending on the niche of the product. It gives you some very, very valuable content that native speaker that is really into the Amazon world can put together, that also has experience with a bunch of other things can put together. And that is probably something that a lot of companies do not have in-house. They are not going to outsource it to a freelancer who's just going to go to Google Translate the keywords, the content, whatever. We give you a full overview and a bunch of value that will help you understand how to make your product a best-selling product in your marketplace, or just be like, okay, Germany is not for me. Let's just do this for Mexico. You know, what do you think about Mexico? And then we're like, wow, this is a big hit. You just stay and focus 100% on Mexico instead of going to Europe. And we're gonna give data that is gonna be very exact specific, and it's going to help you scale your business if it's possible. If it's not possible, we'd rather tell you, look, stay away from this marketplace, other than you getting false hope and expanding and then be very disappointed and spend a lot of money on the wrong way. This is something that we really want to avoid. We really want to help sellers scale their business, but do it in the smart way.
All right. Thank you so much, Jana, for explaining everything, what's important to pay attention to when wanting to expand to new markets, and also explain a little bit how you now help sellers to do that as well. So I think my first question to you is that Amazon has quite many marketplaces, and you said it's important to know all of the information and not just assume that one marketplace is a good fit. So did I understand correctly then that, for example, if there's a US seller who would like to expand to European marketplaces, then the seller should actually analyze and compare, let's say, all of the European marketplaces next to each other in order to make the decision of either going to the German marketplace or Italian marketplace or etc.
So from my experience, let's say if you're a US seller, you've never expanded to Europe, we're gonna have like an additional slide saying, okay, these are the steps you need to do in order to expand. And we're gonna get an estimate cost of each steps, because we work with a lot of different partners on this report. So if you're a US seller, you wanna expand, I would definitely always start with Germany or the UK. Germany is the biggest marketplace right after US. And it's definitely something worth getting into as a #1 priority. And then after that, you should take into consideration other European marketplaces like France, Spain, and Italy. But I would definitely solely focus on one and then easily expand to all of the others, because once you're in Europe, you have the access to 6, 7 other marketplaces that are currently available. But as a US seller, you should definitely research, let's say Europe. I would say do the research, but expand to one marketplace at a time. Do not do full on 7 countries, because I think it's a lot of work and it tends to have like a lot of strategies and a lot of details in place.
Okay, thank you very much. And what about analyzing product ideas where products are a little bit more innovative? Perhaps there isn't something exactly like this on the market. So of course, if there are similar and very similar products already on the market, it's quite easy to compare things with each other. But let's say it's something, a new form never seen before. How would you analyze the product then?
So I would, for instance, if this is a completely new product on Amazon, like it's like non-existent, I would definitely check, for instance, the search volume and keyword planner, like on Google. I would definitely go to the audience. This will be my #1 thing, like ask the audience. Or I would just like check like whether this product is being sold like on different marketplaces. Maybe, like it's sold in Walmart, but not like on Amazon. Or what is the reason to that? I would definitely research a little bit of like, why hasn't anyone been selling this product on Amazon. Maybe this is something that is too difficult. It asks for too many certificates for Germany, for instance, or like the product compliance is difficult. You know, there's like a lot of reasons why a product is not being sold on Amazon. And sometimes maybe there's a really good reason for that, and you should not do that either. So I would definitely go to other channels. I would go to other platforms and see how well this product is doing in this new country. And then I would think about, you know, taking it to Amazon. And one thing I would also definitely recommend to the US sellers listening is definitely, like, you know, before going to Europe, yes, Germany is great, but it's easiest for you to expand to Canada and Mexico. So I would always double check those marketplaces first. And for the UK sellers who want to expand to Europe and other sellers in Europe, definitely Germany, because it's the most convenient for you to expand to. So it doesn't matter how big the marketplace is. Sometimes it's more about the expenses and how much time you're going to need to cover all of those aspects needed for you to expand. Germany is the biggest marketplace after the US, but you should definitely do the due diligence and see what is the potential revenue you can get versus the expenses that you will be getting when you want to expand elsewhere.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely good advice to consider all of the other factors and elements as well. All right. Thank you very much, Jana, for sharing your knowledge and for going over so many details. Actually, Amazon has also started to give more information to sellers, which basically means that now there's more data to analyze than ever before. So definitely that kind of service also helps Amazon sellers a lot to save some time and be efficient. So before we go, could you once more explain what are the different services your company offers for Amazon sellers, and also what's the best way to reach out to you if anyone wants to use your services?
Absolutely. So we are a leading Amazon localization translation agency. As I said, we offer everything when it comes to your content. We do localization and translation, which means that we don't stick to like word for word translation, but we do localization where necessary. We do an outstanding job with the keyword research, with strategies. Everything that we apply to the content, we do in order to make you more money and more profit, basically. So we cover all of the content needed, meaning text on images, videos. We do subtitles in the videos in like different languages. We do voiceovers. We do translation of A+ content, and we also do copywriting. So we do also writing listings from scratch, and we also do flat file creation, which means that sometimes you don't want to, you know, hassle with like copy pasting of your products from one template to another. We can also create flat files and we can offer it for you. And we also offer customer service, which is we don't go into your account, but if you get a question in a foreign language you don't understand, you can tell us what this question means, tell us what you want us to answer, and we reply to you and translate that in 2-3 hours time of your time zone, so you can paste it immediately in a specific tone or style that your brands want to convey to the audience. So this is basically everything we do. And of course, if you have any questions or you want to reach out to me, I'm always happy to hop on a call. I'm obviously very passionate about what we're doing, and I think it's very, very important. And the last 2 years have been very important for expansion, because we've seen so many brands expand more and more. So we'll be happy to share our knowledge, strategies, case studies, anything that you think could be useful for your business. You can reach out at our webpage. There's a form you can fill out. You can send our email to info@wildtea-translations.com. Follow our LinkedIn page and Facebook page, as we always give out the newest updates about anything Amazon and e-commerce related. And if you want to reach out directly to me, do it on LinkedIn. I'm very active there. I'm growing my community every day, trying to educate people on the various problems that sellers and brands can come across in their on their journey. And I'll be happy to hop on a call, answer all the questions. But as I said, LinkedIn would be the best way to reach me. And I look forward to all of your questions that you have.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jana, again, and hope to see you soon.
See you soon. Take care. Maybe in June.
I hope this video helped you to better understand if your product has a potential in a new marketplace. If you liked the video, hit the like and subscribe buttons below. Thanks. And In case you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comment box below. And now I would like to recommend you to check the whole playlist of other videos which talk about selling your Amazon products in different marketplaces, in different locations, in different countries.